Hello everyone, this is Unit 3, Lesson 6, and we're reviewing some things here, but actually we're not reviewing, we're more of trying to learn something new about grammar. It's called asking and reporting questions. Sometimes your teacher gives you instructions like these. Ask if we are on page 42. Ask what X means. These are instructions because they start with a commanding verb, ask, do, make, play, work, and so on. They have no question mark, as you can see here. Even if you say ask, even if the meaning is about asking, it's just still a command. It's something to do. They're telling you what to do. So these are all called instructions. Now, let's see what is this all about. He wants you to ask, it means the teacher. The teacher wants you to ask questions like, ask if we're on page 42. You're going to say, are we on page 42? Ask what X means. What does X mean? So we're just trying to put them into question form. This is a command form and this is a question form. So there's a difference between the instruction and the question. You really need to pay attention to that. The instruction actually starts with a verb like ask, do, make, play, work, sleep, just like telling you what to do, okay? But a question, you can start it actually the question word, like what, who, when, where, why, and so on. Now, sometimes your question is the same as your teacher's instruction. For example, if your teacher says, ask who defeated the Romans, you can say, who defeated the Romans? And it's just a question. You will only remove the word ask. Let me give you an example. Ask who defeated the Romans. And then you're going to just simply put that down the same way. Who defeated the Romans? Okay, see the difference between a question and an instruction. The first one is an instruction, the second one is a question. So the instruction and question are the same because the answer is the subject. What is that supposed to mean? Well, okay, ask who defeated the Romans. Who defeated the Romans? Well, who is asking what, asking who? Okay, when we first talked about ask what X means, what does X mean? It's just the same thing. What does X mean? We're only changing the verb. But here, the answer is actually the same subject. So that's why there is not much difference. I'm telling you, you are the same person, you are the subject. Now, sometimes you want to tell someone about a question. For example, somebody asks you, are you well? Later on, you say, she asked me if I was well. So, how do you know? How do you say, well, she did so and she did that? That's very important, especially for, our girls and ladies who just like to say, but she told me that, Okay, how do you know? How do you just change it? You say, are you well? And you want to report that. Somebody's asking you, what did she tell you? You say, she asked me if I was well. Okay, so what's happening here? Oh, okay. Here's what's happening. I always like to put things in the same order so that they're easy and clear for you. You can just know what the difference is. Okay. Okay, there isn't much difference here, as you can say. In the order, we're just adding a reporting tag here, or a reporting part in the sentence. That's going to help you tell that somebody actually asked you about the first question. So we got question 1 and then question 2. Okay, so notice here we got question 1 and then you got question 2. And the first one is, are you well? This is person number 1. Person number 2, she asked me if I was well. So what you're doing is, first of all, changing the R into an F because it's a yes-no question, yes-no answer. It's either a yes or no answer. And you're going to change you into an I. If it's she, that's going to be the same. We'll just talk about it in a few seconds. And you're going to add a verb because you really need it here. You can't just ask about, just take away the verb. It's just transformed into another form, and then well stays the same. How do you do this? Okay, we're just gonna play this with the second. Who are you? How do I change this? Let me tell you how you're going to change it. Ta-da! All right. So first of all, she asked me, and then you're going to keep the same one, who. You're going to just change the U into an I, okay? And you want to change the R into was because was is more suitable with an I, but you're not going to keep them in the same order. Who was I? You're going to have to use a question mark again. You're going to actually take it out and just put it in a different order. So that's how it works. Okay, so it's just about changing the order. You're going to actually change order. You're going to change the pronoun, and you're going to do one more thing, which is add she asked me. Okay, for example, there's one more thing you're going to change, for example, which is if is an added word that you're going to have to add it, or maybe you're going to have to change the tense. So it depends on what you have. Okay, so 4 things that you actually did here in order to work this out. And so let's just try to make one more review. We're going to change the order, as you can see here, where these 2 parts are, was, you, I, and change the pronoun. You is going to be turning into an I. Then you add she asked me, okay, and then you're gonna add if when you have a yes/no question form. Okay, let's just play with more examples here. How does it work? Number 1, we use if when the answer is yes and no. Okay, we know that already. The question word becomes statement word order. So you're changing it. Yeah, that's a good point to say. Change the full stop into, sorry, a question mark into a full stop. And then the present tense becomes past. Yes, you can see here it's a present tense. It's just going to change into a past change tense from present into past, and then the perfect becomes past perfect. So the pronoun changes, you become an I. We got a few things to do, 6 things to do actually, if we want to work it out here. So keep it in mind because we're going to need it for the next session. Thank you.